Greetings, students. Welcome to your GCIS Junior and Bridge Law 7th grade activity. Today for your activity, we're going to do 7th grade career clusters and also 7th grade interest profiler, as well as 7th grade reality check. Georgia Career Information System gives us a wealth of knowledge on what you might look at for your future careers. So this system gives us, and it's really a great system, it gives us a way to look at what a career does, how to get involved in that career if you stay in the state of Georgia, or a national search. And in the future, because you'll continue to go through this program throughout your educational career, you may be able to apply for scholarships and for programs using the system also. All right, so let's get started. First thing we would do is go to the Fulton County Schools webpage. So that is fultonschools.org right up here. I'm sure everybody knows how to get to the Fulton County Schools webpage, so we just scroll down a little bit. And we're going to check into our Home Access Center. Once we check into Home Access, we click on there, and we check into our Student Access Center, where I'm sure all of you go to check out your grades. Okay, so we click on Student Access Center, and we log in just as you normally do. Your username is your lunch number. All right, so you just enter your lunch number and the username. We're in the Home Access login page. Your password, again, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once again, we all have the same password, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We click Login. And you should be at your Student Access Center where you normally are. Okay, so it'll give you today's date, it'll give you your class, and you can check out your schedule, all that kind of stuff, the week view. But we're going to, right next to the week view is the school links. So you see my cursor there? We click on school links. And the first one says Georgia SLDS building, and your building number might be different, but Georgia SLDS building. For River Trail, we're going to say 701. Maybe a different school. You click on that. So remember, that was our first link there. Oh, and we are in our home page with performance, resources, testing, my career plan. That's what we're going to use today. And then log out. So we go into my career plan. So look at my cursor there, eyes up front. Perfect. We go into my career plan. We check on that. Click that. There we go. All right. And you see my career plan. We're going to go back into this every year, as I said before, and complete different activities. So today, our first one is going to be career cluster exploration. I'm going to start off with career cluster exploration because that one seems to be the hardest one for 7th graders to grasp, the difference between a career cluster and an actual occupation. Okay, so we're going to click on career cluster exploration. We click on that. It may say something about a pop-up blocker. You just click OK. It will automatically pop up for you. Okay, so career clusters of interest. You see where it says here, choose your career clusters? That's what we're going to do. So once again, choose your career clusters. I'm going to pause there for a moment in case we're getting a little lost. Choose your career clusters. That was after we had gone to, I'm going to go back. We had gone to My Career Plan. Click on My Career Plan. And then we will Career Cluster Exploration. This is where you can take career assessments, aptitude, occupational exploration. But this year, occupational exploration is what you'll do in 8th grade. But this year, we're going to career cluster exploration. That's our third box here. So, sorry. So we click on that. And we come up with career clusters. That's our main activity for 7th grade. Okay, it should say not started yet because we haven't done the activity yet. So we are once again going to choose your career clusters. Click on that. That's the pop-up blocker window that I was talking about. So don't worry, you just click OK. And we're into our Georgia Career Information System homepage. Notice that it will tell you your name. It will start off with career clusters. It will say could not read the file, but that's okay because we haven't gone into the correct placement for that yet. So to get to career clusters, you can see where it says plan for your future. We're not going to do that yet. Assessments, we will go into that a little bit later. Occupations. Okay, now remember I was talking about the difference between an occupation and a career cluster. All right, a career cluster is your big heading. For instance, if you tell me, you know, in the future, I think I might want to do something in the medical field. I'm not sure what I want to do. Maybe I want to be a radiology tech. Maybe I want to be a doctor. Maybe I want to be a veterinarian. Maybe I want to be a phlebotomist or any of those kind of things. All of those different things that I just mentioned were actual occupations. But right now, I just want to learn about what you might think about doing in the future if you really kind of want to focus on medical. Or if you want to focus on education, maybe you want to be a college professor, maybe you want to be an elementary teacher, maybe you want to be a kindergarten teacher. All of that falls under your big heading of education. So right now, we're looking at what are the big headings that you might be thinking about in the future. That's all the state is interested in. Next year, you'll talk about an actual occupation. And right now, you might say, you know, Miss Bartley, I know I want to be a doctor in the future. Okay, great. But I also want you to look at a whole bunch of different things because maybe there's something else that you might be interested in. Maybe you're like, I'm good at art, but I don't know what kind of career I can do with that. That's why we have career clusters. So it helps us break down and helps us get to the nitty-gritty of what you might want to study in the future. Okay, so under this occupations tab, so we have plan, assessments, occupations. Our third tab is occupations. If you scroll down a little bit, learn more about occupations, but we're not doing that today. Today our focus is the 17 career clusters. We click on that and notice it says under their occupations, not doing that. We are doing 17 career clusters. We click on that and you see all these big headings. Remember, I was talking about big headings. So I talked about education and training career cluster. Notice it doesn't say teacher. Finance career cluster, it doesn't say banker or investment banker or anything specific like that. It says health science career cluster. It doesn't say doctor. Okay, so I click on one of these, and once again, I'm in these 17 career clusters. I click on actual career cluster. So let's click on finance. I wonder what's under the finance career cluster. I click on, oh, look at all these different occupations. There's lots of different occupations, but this year we're not looking at actual occupations. Now you can do this at home if you choose to, but right now the state wants to know that you're just thinking about a cluster. So right under where I had just clicked Finance Career Cluster, right under that it says Information about Finance Career Cluster. I click on Information. It gives me an overview. It asks me some questions. Are you the treasurer of a club or organization? Do you enjoy working with numbers? It gives me some pathways, a Georgia pathway. It gives me a national pathway. Tells me if I don't stay in the state of Georgia, where I might want to go, some different occupations and all that kind of stuff. So I can look at my different topics here on the left. It says it gives me some skills, helpful high school courses, and level of education and earnings. So those are all some great things that I can find out about the finance career cluster. After I have gone through some of those things, I click on Save. You see the little star here? And that's going to save it into my favorites. That's very important because the state looks at, have they been looking at clusters? Which of the 17 career clusters did they choose? And did they say, and the only way they know is if you've saved it. So it's very important. Look at my cursor there. You click Save. You can add some notes. I've always thought about this. I would like to look at this a little bit more. Okay, so you can add some notes. I would like to explore whichever notes you like. You save your information. Notice my cursor. It will not save unless you click Save here. So save information, and now it's in your favorites under My Saved Occupations, but it's actually, notice, Finance Career Cluster is saved in there. If I go in and check your account, which the state will do, and they see doctor, lawyer, teacher, veterinarian, those are not career clusters. It needs to say I need to have 3 different career clusters. So let's go back and let's save a couple more clusters. So we go back to occupations, scroll down, I click on my 17 career clusters. I find a cluster. Well, let's do transportation. I wonder what's under there. Oh, wow, look at all of these different occupations. But this year we're not exploring occupations. I just need to find out what is under the transportation career cluster. So in order to find out some more information, notice my cursor there, right under the title, it says Information about Transportation. I click on Information about Transportation. I get my overview, and I know I'm in the right place because for one it says Transportation, Distribution, and Logistics Career Cluster. I get my overview. Remember, I can see my Georgia pathways, my national pathways. I can look at my questions. Would you enjoy working outdoors in all kinds of weather? Not really. Do you have good eyesight and quick reflexes? Not really. So maybe this is not a good career cluster for me, but it might be for you. Okay, so once again, I click Save because I need to make sure that that's in my favorites. Save. I add some notes. I click Save Information, and now it's in my actual favorites as a career cluster. So one more, and I need to have at least 3 different ones, but I can add as many career clusters. You can add all 17 career clusters if you choose to, but at least 3 different separate career clusters. So I need to add another one, so I go back up to Occupations, 17 career clusters. I find a career cluster that I might be interested in. Let's check out arts. oh wow, look at all those different occupations, but I'm not looking at occupations. I'm going to get right under the title. It says information about arts, audio, video, technology, and communications career cluster. I click on that. I get my overview. I get my Georgia pathways, my national pathway, my skills, helpful high school courses. I save, add some notes, and save. Now I have 3 different clusters in my favorites. So I have completed this activity for this year. Once again, you can add more if you choose to, or you can stick with your 3 if you're pretty solid on that and really investigate your 3 career clusters. In 7th grade, we are required to save at least 3 different career clusters. Okay, now let's go on to our next activity, which would be our interest profiler. So we can continue where we are from here. We just go, go back to your heading. You can go to plan, assessments, occupations, but this time we're going to assessments. So look at my cursor there. I'm going to assessments. And then, let's talk about what are my interests. Okay, last year you should have taken a career cluster inventory, 80 questions. This year we're going to take an interest profiler, only 60 questions. Okay, so it's really easy. So we went to assessments, interest profiler, 60 questions. We click on that. It gives you some directions. Interest profiler can help you identify your interests and match them with a wide variety of careers. Okay, so we start it by rating the activities. Read over your directions and rate the activities. You click on that and it will ask you a series of questions, such as, do you like to build kitchen cabinets? Strongly like, unsure, dislike, strongly dislike. So you pick one. I've got 59 questions remaining, and you keep going. You click 1 to continue, and then it goes to question number 2, automatically. Lay brick or tile. You might not know, so you might click on sure. Comes up with question number 3. Develop a new medicine. Oh, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. Okay, so you just click 1, it goes to the next question. After you're finished, and I'm just going to click through. I would like you to read this though and go through. But don't take too much time. If you're really thinking about it, then you're not too sure and it's just supposed to be really quick. Okay, once you're done, you click on the results button. That was at the bottom right. Let's go back to that. Okay. Well, excuse me. All right, so interest profiler, 60 questions. It kind of gives you enterprising, conventional, realistic, investigative. It gives you some using your interest to explore occupations. It gives you your little breakdown, and we save that. Super easy. You just save. Once again, you can add some thoughts and save. All right. Okay, so you just save and save, and it will be in there. You can do it a couple of times if you choose to, but we went to assessments. So let's go over this, how we got here again. We went to assessments. Under assessments, interest profiler. Click on that. It's not going to let me go through again, but we save and save. Now that's in my portfolio. Okay, and the last activity today we're going to do is reality check. So we're going to go under, back under the assessments, and let's talk about what lifestyle can you afford. So we just did one of my interests. We did our interest profiler for this year. Now let's talk about what lifestyle can I afford. So we would click under assessments, reality check. And there's a little video. Okay, so after you've watched the video on your own, you will see where it says on the bottom left hand, get a reality check. You start your own reality check. So follow my cursor. You start your own reality check. This is for if you're going to stay in the state of Georgia. So it first asks you, where do you want to live? You might say, I'm going to move to Albany, or I'm going to move to Athens, or I'm going to move to Atlanta. So you click on a city, one of those in the state of Georgia. Then you click the next button. Okay, now let's talk about what kind of housing you will need. Okay, you might live with your parents, which is 0. I don't necessarily believe it's 0 because you should contribute to the household. You might get a 1-bedroom apartment. You might say, I can't live with other people. Or you might get a couple of roommates, or 1 roommate, 2 roommates, that kind of thing. You might strive for a house. Okay, so I'm going to get 1 roommate. So I'm going to choose 2-bedroom apartment. You just actually click on it, and it tells you how much a 2-bedroom apartment should cost in the city of Atlanta currently. Then you click next. What utilities do you need? I'm definitely going to need some electricity, so I'll click on that. I'm going to need some gas for the stove. I'm going to need water. I'm going to need trash, and there's probably some other utilities that aren't even listed here. So I clicked all of those, okay? Then you click next. What communications? I definitely need a cell phone. I don't need a landline, so I'm going to skip that. I'd like some cable, and I need some internet. Okay, so you make your choices. Click next. What will you eat? Okay, if you decide to eat at home and cook, notice the savings there compared to dining out. If I dine out, if I eat out every night, $770 a month. That's a big difference on eating at home. So I'm going to choose a combo. I can't say I'm going to cook every night, but let's choose a combo. So I choose that. Click next. Let's talk about transportation. All right, I just love this little small car, but it's still $635. I could really save some money if I took the bus. Human power is $20. If I was living in the city, downtown, I could probably get away with riding a bike. Medium-sized car? Okay, that's, truck or SUV. Notice the big difference between truck or SUV and my small car. I'm going to choose my small car. Okay, how much clothing? Now this is where I could save some money, but let's say I really like some clothing and I want to make sure I have the newest thing. So then I'm going to choose high, $100 a month. But I could save some money there though. Let's talk about what will you do for healthcare. Okay. You could choose no health insurance, but you really still need to have some savings. If you break your leg, you still have to pay the hospital. So 0 is not really realistic. Every time you go to urgent care, you have to pay, even if you don't have insurance, okay? Hopefully, you will get a job that covers part of your insurance. So I'm going to go for buy insurance through work, because hopefully I secured a job with that, okay? But no health insurance is not really an option of 0 because things happen. Okay, what will I do for entertainment? I could definitely save some money here. I don't have to spend money on this higher entertainment. $200 per month is quite a bit on entertainment. So I'm going to say $100 per month, and maybe I can save some money there. So I chose that. You might have something different. What about personal care? Okay, I could definitely save money. I don't have to go to the salon every month. I could say I could walk out in the neighborhood. I don't really have to go to the gym. Or maybe I like massagers or something like that. So I'm gonna say medium there. Maybe I can save some money. How much will you spend on miscellaneous items? Okay, notice that cute little doggy. I think he's just adorable. But you know what? They cost a lot of money. So maybe I don't need to have the dog. or if I do, I just need to budget for him. So I'm gonna choose him because I like him, but I'm gonna have to budget for him. How much will I spend on student loans? Okay, well, this is a important topic here because generally, the longer you stay in school, the more money you end up making. So, but that generally means that you may have to take out more student loans. Most of us do have to take out student loans. So, let's see. I'm going to say I'm going to get a bachelor's degree and I'm going to go to a public school. So that means I'm going to probably have to spend I'm going to have to pay back, because I took out some loans, I'm going to have to pay back about $300 per month for that degree. Okay? So that's a good start there. I might go on for a graduate degree. I might go on for to get a Juris Doctorate or a medical degree or something like that. That's even more money. I don't know why that's saying zero, because that certainly is not zero. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. So if you're looking at a master's degree, doctoral degree, or professional degree. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that professional degree was at that medical doctorate or that Juris Doctorate. Okay, so doctoral degree it's like a PhD or something like that. So it just depends on how long you want to stay in school, but it's going to cost you more money, but you end up making more money, so it's a worthwhile expense. Okay, so I'm going to go for that doctoral degree. I'm just going to have to pay some loans, so I'm prepared for that. So I chose bachelor's and graduate degree. So I'm going to owe a lot of money in loans, but that's just okay. Now, since I took out so much money in loans, I might not be able to save as much as I like, but I need to have at least 5% savings. Because what about that broken leg? How am I going to pay for that? You have to pay the doctor. And they're going to want to know how you're going to pay for it. Okay, so have yourself some savings. All right, and then, so click a savings. Maybe you're aggressive and you could say, I could do 10%. Fantastic. Okay, click on next. All right, so now this gives us, let's add it all up, our reality check. This tells me how much I would need to make in order to live the lifestyle that I have chosen. So remember I said I wanted my puppy and I want to go to school and get that advanced degree. So I need to make, and I have to pay my student loans back and I have to pay for that puppy expense. So I need to make at least $60,252. Okay, this is not if I decided to have children or anything like that. That is just for me. Okay, so that's a salary. I'm going to have to work hard to get that. But, you know, if I stayed in school and got those advanced degrees, I should be able to make that. Okay? So that tells you how much you need to make. Okay. Because I've selected expenses for student loans, some selections have been made for you on this page. You can change these selections if they don't match your preferences, or if you're not about what type of education or training, if you're not sure about what type of education or training you might need yet. Okay, so I understand. All right, so do you know how much education or training you plan to complete? Okay, so remember how I said I was going to get a bachelor's degree and then I was going to go for an advanced degree. So you click yes or not yet or that kind of thing. That's okay. It's not so important. But if you know you're going to go for that medical degree, you're definitely going to have to go for an advanced degree. Okay? So you click next. All right. Do you know which career clusters you're interested in? You should know, because that's the first thing that we did. So remember how I said if I'm looking at becoming a teacher, it's going to be under education. So I click yes. Okay. Select the career clusters you're interested in. And remember, I had already done, where's education? Did I pass? Oh, it's right there. Okay. Okay, so I click on education. I apply. Okay, education and training. Click next. And I get my results. Okay, so these are 4 occupations that indicate 4 occupations that have been saved for me. These are occupations that have been chosen for me that I might want to look at. Okay, so since I had chosen education, I might want to look at becoming a college and university administrator. It's going to provide for me that kind of money that I'm looking at to live that lifestyle. Education administrator is going to provide for me that lifestyle that I'm looking. Instructional coordinators, it will provide, and university and college teacher. So those are four occupations in my education career cluster that will provide for me the lifestyle that I would like to be able to live in the future. Okay, if I want to change, if I'm looking for, I could review my expenses. This is where I could cut down on some of those personal expenses. Edit my education level. Let's say, I don't know if I want to stay in school 6 to 8 years or so after high school. Okay, change your city or region. Okay, this only works for Georgia though. All right, and then once again, we don't get credit. No one gets credit unless we hit save. So for each of our activities, no one gets credit unless we save. Write some thoughts. Oops. Save. And now it will be in my portfolio under reality check. So in my portfolio, it should have favorites. It should have my 3 career clusters. It should have my interest profiler, 60 questions, my results there, and it can also have my reality check results. Okay, once we have saved all 3 of those activities, you are complete for your 7th grade year. We'll go back in again next year. It was great looking at and exploring careers. You can go in on this. You can go in at home and look at some more. You can actually look at some occupations, but please do not change your saved results. All right. Thank you very much for listening. And I hope you've had fun going through the Georgia Career Information System. Have a great day, and we'll see you in GCIS again next year. So you just hit log out. You've been logged out.